for audit report from myself.
You've read it correctly.
Yes, sir.
Everybody did.
Yes, sir.
Mayor, council members, thank you for allowing me and our firm to audit the 9/30/22 numbers. We issued an unqualified opinion, which is a clean opinion. It's the highest form we can give. I look back to 2020 because that's kind of the baseline of everybody's, how business is standing. Overall, we're up about 2 million in tax collections. So we're steady, we're doing good. Bonds at 9/30, of course, this was 6 months ago, was 10.59 million. We're down to 9.975 million as of today. Loans to local banks is about 737,000. I didn't want to get too deep into the weeds. I know this fiscal year, we're going to be subject to the single audit because we're spending more than 750,000 in that ARPA money, most likely. Is that correct?
Yeah.
The pension liability is a little concerning, but there's really nothing you can do about it. We're at 3.5 million owed to all city employees, current and past. That can swing in any given year with the economy as it is right now. It can swing up in 2 more years, hopefully. I know y'all are gonna talk about sales tax abatements next, but they are a wonderful thing for a city. The good thing about this city is y'all spread them out over multiple years and not doing them all at once. It drives other sources of revenue, jobs, licenses. The downside to them is you don't reap the benefits from them for 3 to 6 years. So, me and Mr. Joe were talking earlier, y'all remember the 70s, high inflation, that's where we're at right now, and probably continuing to go. So just watch the spending. Because we've got all these, the Popeyes out there, the Wharf. What's the one that's all? Jazz. And now this potential one, if it ever gets built. Not saying that's a negative. The good thing is that we're spreading those out over years, so when one falls off, do another one, so forth and so on. Just the biggest thing is we're in unseen times right now for the next 1.5 to 2 years. Other than that, I don't really have anything else to add unless you all have specific questions.
So we didn't get cited on anything.
No.
That's good.
It's nothing major, but we always have the credit card issue.
It's still an issue.
It's better though.
It's better.
Okay.
The issue is file, mainly.
Like when we order stuff over the internet, is that harder to keep up with?
Well, in the past, it's been young teenagers coming in, attempting to file. Invoices getting misplaced.
Hmm.
That can be resolved. Definitely need to get in another payable receivable clerk. Highly would recommend staying away from long-term leases. Reason is, if you'll flip to page 26, this is your pension footnote disclosure. It goes all the way to page 34 for one number on your financial statement. It will be the exact same thing for leases. Anything above 1 year. But if you can't help it, you can't help it. It is what it is.
So on this Crater lease that we're working on, they had it for 3 years. Do we need to do that? Can we do 1 year with the option to extend for another year? Would that be easier?
If you make it 12 months or less with an option to cancel by either party with 60-day notice, 90-day notice, it'll get you out of it. The only other thing that gets you out of it is, we had y'all adopt threshold for these leases, and I think it was 25, 50 per year. It all depends on the rent.
Could you maybe give Justin a call, because he's the one doing the lease contract on that?
Yeah.
And
I mean, we
discuss,
have other leases, like we have the airport stuff,
Yeah.
but the T hangers are month to month.
yeah,
We've got some land leases, but they're all immaterial. But when you start renting buildings, you could potentially get,
what are we on Little Bit of Texas?
that's not a week. That's
IDB.
That's right, that's what it is. As long as Justin understands while he's drafting this, it's not gonna make any difference. I mean, we're gonna get the lease annually. So,
Well, certainly don't do it if you have a potential lessor or lessee to go in.
Yeah.
That's gonna further develop downtown.
Yeah.
But just structure it under those numbers.
and
And if you can't, you can't.
it's amazing the guidelines that they give you that you have to operate under. You don't have any choice.
No, just like that pension disclosure, 8 pages of gobbledygook. Tell me what we owe, what we don't owe.
Any other questions on the budget? On the audit? Be a quiz done on this in 2 weeks. What are you seeing, Mike? And I didn't search for it in here, but what are you seeing on revenues from internet sales?
It's not material, it's around the 200,000 per year range, but it's going up, it's gone up every year since they passed that act.
I think it was about 30,000 when we started.
Problem is you're centrally located to a certain area in the city limits. Outside of that city limits, goes elsewhere.
Any questions? Appreciate it, Mike. Thank you for coming and sharing with us. Our agenda items for today is under old business, permission to enter into a lease for property located at 124 Company Street. And then item 2 is going to be permission to install a new 2-ton grand air heat pump at the police department at a cost of $65.89. This is the second time on the agenda. So we'll take action on that. On the new business, resolution 2023-6-20-1 economic development project agreement. What is this? Where's me?
Yeah, right there.
Can't see it. Oh, okay. All right, what is this?
This is the incentive agreement for Wow Catering and Restaurant.
That's the folks standing right over here. Okay. All right. And then under new business, item 2, award contract to re-roof the city administrative building to the lowest bidder, and that was Bond Construction Company. John, has all that been checked out with the Bond Construction Company on the roof? He got the bid?
He got the bid, yes, everything was good.
Okay,
The report on him was very favorable.
okay.
Yes.
All right, great. And then item 3, reschedule first council meeting in July to July 5th at noon at the city administrative building. That's because of 4th of July. Okay, and then item 4, permission to install cameras at the Wetumpka Municipal Airport at a cost of $7,500. This is the first time on the agenda. You want to speak to that, Jim?
This is just an addition to the security system that exists at the airport, but it's on the on the far side, the hangar's on the far side of the airport. So we've got a shoe signal over there and an ad cam.
Okay. Question, years ago, we were supposed to have gates that close and them, but that's just, has never been workable.
I can't speak to the gates. Lynn?
Julie?
Julie?
Then you want to fix that, because I don't know anything about the gates.
So we installed the fencing, the perimeter fencing at the airport, I'd say maybe 10 years ago. At that time, those gates were put into the effect. We do not use them or operate them because it is an unmanned facility, and we have never had a security breach where we would need to do that. A lot of airports do that just in case. For example, the night that we had the fire over there, we were able to shut them down. So if you have something, a catastrophic event on the airport, you can close them. But we have never felt the need to leave them closed all the time, since there's no one there in case there's an issue and someone can't get in or can't get out. So they're there if we need them. We use them for security reasons, but we do maintain, if we ever should have to do that, it's a card system. There's also a keypad, but the keypad is only for emergency first responders to use. So that's how it's set up, which we've never had the need to have to completely shut it down. But we could if that time should come.
Thank you.
Okay, and then item 5, permission to install Wi-Fi at the MLK Rec Center, Black History Museum, and splash pad at a cost of $9,796.92. It's the first time on the agenda, so we'll be carrying that over. Give us a little breakdown on that. This is added to,
Right.
the monthly charge will be added to the account that we already have.
That's correct. We already have existing Wi-Fi at the MLK building, and close proximity to that is the splash pad and the Black History Museum. And so the idea is to, instead of setting up individual internet locations at every one, we take what exists, shoot internet over, and then create a small business network that's actually attached back here to that.
Okay.
So we can monitor traffic, security, all that.
So this comes under the umbrella of what we already have.
That's correct. We already have, right, on site, we already have Spectrum Internet.
Okay. Okay. Any questions on that? Okay. All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Invocation be done by Councilperson Tucker, and the pledge will be done by Councilperson Justice.
Let us pray. Father God, we thank you for allowing us to assemble here to do the work of the city. We ask that you bless each and every citizen in the city of Wetumpka, all businesses, the city council, and all the administration. We ask that you just keep a loving hand around us and help us through these times. These and all blessings we ask in your son, Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilmember Robbins.
Here.
Councilmember Tucker.
Here.
Councilmember Justice.
Here.
Councilmember Gant.
Here.
Councilmember Brown.
Here.
Mayor Willis.
Here. You received in your packets a copy of the minutes from the council meeting held on June 5 of 2023. Are there any corrections to those minutes? If there are no corrections, we'll entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Okay, thank you for the motion and second. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? So those minutes have been approved. Under old business, permission to enter into a lease of a property located at 124 Company Street. This being the second time on the agenda, we can move forward and take action on this.
So moved.
Okay. Have a motion, and do we have a second?
Second.
thank you. Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on this? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Anyone opposed? So that too has been granted. And item 2 on the old business, permission to install a new 2-ton air heat pump, at the police department at a cost of $65.89. This being the second time we can take action on this.
To install that commission.
We'll take that motion. Do we have a second? Okay. Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Anyone opposed? So that has been granted. Under new business, resolution 2023-6-20-1 Economic Development Project Agreement. You want to state what everybody have that agreement?
They all have.
You're up on it? We'll entertain a motion to move forward.
I, make a motion that we move forward with the Economic Development Project Agreement.
I thank you, ma'am, for that motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We got all of them.
To the lady.
We have a motion, we have a second. Do we have any discussion on this? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Anyone opposed? So that too has been granted. Okay, item 2, award contract to re-roof the city administrative building to the lowest bidder, and that is Bond Construction Company. We'll entertain a motion to move forward.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you for the motion and second. Any discussion?
Mayor, in looking at those bids, he's, I know he's the lowest, but he's like low. Is he gonna be able to complete it?
He's been checked out, his work. A lot of times when you see that, people just put a number down on paper and high and hoping that it falls in their lap. But our people do a good enough job that they go through those bids, and they've got a cost factor before they ever go in there. They know pretty much what that roof is going to cost.
It's a little different. I think we had a grass cutting contract that sometime bid on it. Couldn't have, we found that out, but that's the only time in my time I've been here that we weren't cost.
I think that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Anyone opposed? So that too has been approved. Item 3, reschedule the first council meeting in July to July the 5th at noon at the administrative building. We'll entertain a motion for that.
So moved.
Second.
Okay,
Stipulation on that, we have to call you.
I'm gonna make sure I do that motion, so I'll try to remember.
okay, be on your lawn.
I'll send her a text.
Okay, so we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye. So that too has been granted. Then item 4, permission to install cameras at the Wetumpka Municipal Airport at a cost of $7,500. It'll appear back on the next agenda.
Do you need to suspend the rules? I know you asked me about one of them. Jim?
It was for the second one, but I think we're okay.
Item 5, permission to install Wi-Fi at the MLK Rec Center Black History Museum splash pad at a cost of $97.96, $92. It's the first read. Is that okay to hold it to the next meeting?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll carry that over. All right, anything else?
Meeting at 5:30 on the stamp presentation next door.
You guys step over here. You can cut that off, Jim. Cut that camera off. Cut it down.
Did you adjourn? Are we adjourned yet?
Yeah, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We stand adjourned.
Is it on?